Okay, so this is just me chilling at home. I'm trying to, I know I'm looking like, Black Kiss, but it's okay.
You look beautiful.
I'm here with my darling sister. My darling sister. And, Kitty,
Come on, Kitty.
do you have manners? Anyways, that's my cat. So, I was just looking for, black YouTubers. Some female black YouTubers. And I can't find anybody that interests me, Andrea.
Welcomes.
I'm looking for, like, a mother black YouTuber. I don't see very many mothers YouTubing, and so if anybody knows some black YouTubers that are mothers, that are Christian, that would be great. And that don't look like a hot mess. Sorry, because like if you have to look at somebody for tops an hour, maybe 25 minutes or whatever, you don't want to look at ugly people. God made beautiful people.
Amen.
Okay?
Yes.
We don't need to. We don't want to be. Kitty, okay, I have a hangnail, and when you do that, you pulling my nail back, and it hurts. Okay, so you can't do that.
Come to me now.
Anyways,
Come to me now.
so my sister just came over because I did like a speech preaching type thing at church yesterday, and she wanted to know how it went. So the last time I did the exact same thing, it was horrible. I was doing it on the subject of listening, and I had a very good premise, and I could even have been done in a series because had so many different layers and levels to it. I should try to look for that somewhere, but it wasn't them why it was horrible completely, because I realized that when I'm writing, I actually do have a lot of holes in my writing, a lot of things that are in my head but that don't end up on the paper. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So what happens is, like, so the night before, they just messaged me and they're like, okay, we're going to need you to do devotionals to do the whole preaching, speeching session, right? I am sorry that I look so horrible, people.
Stop it.
But let me try to fix this maybe. Sorry, you're going to see my leg.
Oh,
Okay. Here we go.
You're beautiful.
So some type of preaching thing, and so they text me like, oh, we're gonna need you to do this, and I'm just like, sure, kind of letting them know that this really puts me like, this is not good for my schedule right now. Like, I'm real tired and stressed out and burning the candle on both ends, and now I have a speech to write and to deliver tomorrow. So I was as thrilled as I could be. All right.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of like program planning to hand in for work, and I even told them I wasn't even going to come in because I was sick on top of it. So it wasn't too good. But anyways, the last time did not go good. I was not excited about delivering whatever message. I'm just like, God, what do you want me to say to these people? And it's a good thing I just started like getting back into my Old Testament writing about. Kitty, are you chewing my cords? Are you? What is? Oh no, that's his catnip. Okay.
Cats.
So, I'm in the book of Daniel. I finally finished Ezekiel. Ezekiel felt like it was going on for a lifetime. I feel like I spent an entire lifetime just trying to study and, you know, write down my notes from Ezekiel. For some reason, it just felt like it was going on forever.
Oh my gosh, man.
Finally finished. I'm in Daniel. I'm starting to get back into the Bible studying loop. So I'm like, okay, the Lord, you know, hopefully something will come to me from that. But nothing really came from my studies of Daniel. What I spoke on is something that hit me when a thought that hit me when I was listening to my philosophy lectures. It was talking about human thought as a replica. Now you may not be able to follow this, but let me go into what it is. Okay, so the question is, I start off my little thing with like, so the spotlight is on me, but what I want to do is ask, who are you? And I said, I want to pose or provoke you that you are here to reflect something, to be a reflection of something. You are here, the whole purpose and meaning of you is to reflect something, whether you're reflecting a society, whether you're reflecting, you know, different types of things that you can reflect. And I went into the different philosophers like Weber and Descartes, who, you know, thought that people were just a product of their society. It's like you're basically a mindless person, but what you are is just a product of your society, which is something I never really agreed with, because I always felt like we were dynamic and had our own thoughts. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, that stream of thought is there and very prevalent. And I also talked about the psychological world and biological world that has discovered something called mirror neurons that are all over our body. So if you take let's say that we cut off a piece of Andrea's skin, a cell of hers, and we put it next to a monkey that's jumping, you're going to see that cell starting to jump, you know, start to mimic what's around it. So my premise was, it went very deep into like the fact that Jesus Christ came to bring us back to our original state. This is not how I said it either. Our original state of reflecting God.
Okay.
We are supposed to not reflect our situation, but we're supposed to reflect God Himself.
Mm.
So what happened, and you know, we're supposed to be free, we're supposed to be able, we're supposed to have a mindset that is not limited. But when Adam and Eve ate that apple,
mm-hmm.
what happened is that these limiting questions, Kitty, move your backside, okay? Questions came in their minds that burdened them. So it seems that they burdened themselves, because like what happened is, you know, first there's so many scriptures in the Old Testament that says He made them in His image, you know, mm-hmm. male and female, mm-hmm. He made them, mm-hmm. you know, in Genesis 1:27. And then there's also so much stuff in Jeremiah. Ezekiel says, I knew you in the womb. You can go back to the Psalms that talk about the fact that, you know, you are made in the image of God. So that shouldn't even be disputed at all. So I wanted to find this in the New Testament. Now, let me go back to what I was saying with Adam and Eve. So what happened is when they ate that apple, or whatever it was, God came and he's like, who told you that? He said, who told you? Who put these thoughts in your mind? So this was a mental thing that happened. He didn't say, who put those clothes on you? Something physical did not happen to them. They didn't grow wings or grow horns or nothing. It was in their mind. So God was like, who gave you these limiting thoughts? And that's what Satan does. He comes and he says, did God say this? And he says to Jesus, oh, if you are the Son of God, then you should do this and you should test that and you should. No, when you know something and you don't have to ask any questions, you're not burdened by questions, hey, I know I can make that deadline. I know I could be the best mom I can be at my son's school at any time. I know that I can, whatever it is you need to do. You have the ability. There should be no limiting thoughts, but because we have to renew our minds. See, when Jesus was talking to the Pharisees, this is Matthew 19, maybe 6 or 7 or something like that. He goes, and they said, oh, what about divorce? Moses gave us a law saying that we can divorce. And Jesus even disregards the law. He says, I don't even care about the law. In the beginning, this is what Jesus says, in the beginning, it was not so. He made male and female, and they should be twain. And so the focus is on our structural design. We are structurally designed in a way that we are supposed to be free. We are supposed to reflect God nature, right?
Amen. Yes.
So, what else did I get into? So I did go into the scripture in Matthew where Peter says, Jesus, if it's you, then let me come and walk on the water. He said, Jesus, I know that through you I can do anything. So Peter began to walk on the water, and then he started to look at his circumstance. He started to look around him, and he heard the waves, and he started falling. He said, Jesus, help me.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Because we are supposed to be able to do that. And then one of the biggest striking scriptures that I used as well to prove my premise was the fact that Jesus looked at a tree, and the tree didn't have no fruit, was not having fruit on it. Do you remember that story?
Yeah.
And so he goes, he cursed the tree and it dried up and died right there. And then the disciples are just like, how did you do that?
God.
And he's like, you can do more. You're going to do more than this. And if you say to this mountain, get up and be removed and cast in the sea, and you don't disbelieve, it's going to be done.
Yes.
Because the thing about, like, I believe too, it's like you are structurally designed to succeed.
Yes.
That tree, even, I've been trying to study in the Bible when trees flourish and God talking to trees, because it happens a lot, especially in the Old Testament. He tells the trees when to blossom, when to bear fruit, stuff like that, right? Because, you could plant something and it doesn't grow, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like there's a backstory to this tree. Like, this tree had been rebellious from the beginning, so that when it was time to bear fruit and to have something on there, when Jesus was coming by, that was its only purpose, was to have fruit on that tree.
Yeah.
And because something wrong with that tree. It was not following the will of God from the beginning. Oh. So therefore the fruit was not there when it needed to be there. And Jesus just cursed it one time, because we, like us too, we need to be walking in the will of God, so that when our time comes, to flourish, when God comes, we're ready. We're ready for our husband. We're ready for whatever it is that it may be coming,
Yeah.
So we're ready to have that business. We're ready, whatever. But if we come and we're unfruitful and we're not ready, because years ago we didn't do that work or whatever, we're not walking in the spirit.
No.
We're not walking in the spirit, we're walking in the flesh. So we can't hear the voice of God. And that was my last message. My last message was about listening, being able to hear and communicate with the spirit of God,
Right.
So it's very important to be listening so that you are in the right place at the right time.
You're right. I need to. Yes.
So, and that's a whole other story. So, Jesus said, if you are in the right spirit and even the right mind, the right reflection, in your right place from the beginning, you're supposed to be able to talk to that mountain and subdue it and say, you know what, you go over here. And Kitty, you go over there. Yeah, you stop bothering me.
You're like, what are you talking about?
And because it said you're gonna rule the earth and you're gonna subdue it, and it goes on and on in Genesis 28 about all the things that you should be able to have dominion over. So when we are so under and burdened by everything, by the weather, by this, by that, that's not of God. So yes, this is what I was talking about. And I was shaking. I came in there and I'm shaking, and I try to talk to the sister and I say, Marian, like, please pray for me. And I'm still shaking. Still shaking. I couldn't, and that I really couldn't calm myself down, to be honest with you. It was terrible. It was terrible. The stage fright was terrible. Even to the next day, I think I was still shaking. So then I'm sitting down and I'm trying to pray. And, I have to be honest, like, I'm not around the most encouraging group. They can have some real dirty looks on their face. It's like, imagine trying to give a speech in front of a bunch of Jamaicans. You better know what you're doing. You better know what you're doing. I am not Jamaican, but I could just imagine. I could just imagine the intenseness because I've been around these church folk.
Yeah.
Church folk.
Yeah.
So
I'll be nervous. Okay, my God, sis, you can't do it, sis. I would be saying you can't do it, sis. Calm down.
I couldn't even get through I was so nervous. I couldn't even. Usually, I can find chapters like, but. Especially, we're talking about Matthew here. We're talking about John. We're talking about these easy chapters in the Bible to find.
Yeah.
I'm just like, somebody find it for me, please.
Oh no.
Somebody.
Sis.
It's terrible. It's terrible how you act when you don't have encouragement and when you don't have support. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you're around a bunch of people who just try to badmine you. And you know something too? Even Jesus Christ himself said, I can't even do any miracles in this town because you guys are so bad-minded.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I can't imagine you go through this today.
I tell you, it was
That's
something.
What I came to see. Okay.
It was something.
Oh, God.
But then after I thought of, what came to me?
Mm-hmm.
I was praying and I did pray, and God, the message that I was speaking was very valuable, and I should be able to use it for myself. Mm-hmm. I should not be all up in my feelings, all scared and full of anxiety and worry. Mm-hmm. I should be empowered to just have the peace that surpasses all understanding, have the peace of God, and to just deliver a Holy Spirit filled message and not, so not be as I was. But the facts remained that I was feeling nervous. I was in a bad place the last time, and things did not work out very nicely. And so this time I was just afraid of the past. And that's one thing too, a lesson not to go back to the past, to use that as a reference, because just because something happened in the past does not necessarily mean it's going to happen now. And if you're trying to believe God for better, then just believe God for better and don't
go in the past,
dwell on what happened before. So what else? Then the Holy Spirit is so good. God is so good.
Amen.
That He led me to this song. So we finished with this song that Jermaine just wrote, and it is it's a gorgeous, dead gorgeous song.
What's that? I
love this song so much. Honestly, I'm not gonna get into it, but honestly, this song is just beautiful. It goes, let your spirit flow. Jesus, we love you. I'm trying to remember how it starts. Because you first loved us. We rest on your promise. Stand on the solid rock. You're our rock.
Nice.
Jesus, we love you. We're letting go of what we're used to. You have made all things new, and we follow you. I can't really sing right now. I still have this stupid cold.
It's so nice, though.
You're letting go of what we're used to. You have made all things new. And this just fed into my message that Jesus Christ wasn't here. This is why the law cannot understand what Jesus Christ was doing, because Jesus Christ even said, forget about Moses, forget about the law, forget about it. I'm trying to bring you back to your original design, your original structure.
Right.
So, the words of that song saying, we're letting go of what we're used to. You have made all things new, and we will follow you, just fed perfectly into my message. And, so I started singing this, and I'm nervous, and I even forgot the words of his song, and Jermaine is there, and I'm just like,
oh no,
but it worked out well. I got a good clap before, like, it was just like, what did you know? It's just like cricket, like silence, like,
yes.
Can somebody actually say something meaningful, But this time, they all clapped, and it didn't turn out the disaster that it probably should have been, knowing that it's me who's delivering the message. But God is merciful and, faithful. So,
amen.
Yeah, and showed up. So that's what happened yesterday.
Happy.
Lots of other gossipy things that I have to talk about. Practice was another trip and a half, I tell you.
Don't tell me them with once again, don't tell me that the what do you call it? Brain, wake up. Drink too much coffee, you wake up. They cancel it again?
No, they didn't cancel it.
Oh, okay.
Practice was on, but we had a new member, and
a new member?
A new soloist. And the sounds that were coming out were a little like, because that's the thing, you have to be trained to know what keys, what sounds you are required to make. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Especially for what songs.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I feel sorry for her. She had no clue. And it was interesting. But the thing that kills me, though, is, like, people's face. People's face. People don't understand how damaging somebody's face can be to somebody's psyche, to their not even just their emotions, but their whole the whole foundation of their behavior and their thinking. By the look on your face, you can really have an effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people who aren't conscious, you know what I mean? Conscious of that should not be leaders. I think people who are conscious of their facial features and how they motivate or demotivate people, are good for being leaders, because, like, it's little subtle cues that either put people in a place that you want them to be, or really just make them fail and represent you badly, who's supposed to be the leader.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, and people, and that's the thing too. Facial gestures are not direct comments. If you're not able to make a direct comment and say, okay, no, what I want is you're doing this, and I need you to do this. And, you know, a leader needs to communicate directly.
Thank you. Yes.
So,
it's a must. Yes, I agree.
You know, screwing up your face doesn't do anything for anybody, and it's counterproductive and it's ineffective. And I don't think any leader or anybody who even sees themselves as a mentor, as an elder, should really prescribe to those type of things. You should, yes, you screw up your face when the person knows what they're doing and they know that they shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
And the person knows you, that's a good time to use the facial features. And you're not in a practice with them or something where you can tell them, okay, no, I need you to do this. Or because the situation does not allow for that type of direction. But if the situation allows for you to open your mouth and say, this is what I need, then cut out all the facial features, all the screwing up of faces, and just say, this is what I need you to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very direct, and I know that's why a lot of Black people don't do it, because they're not direct and they're horrible at actually communicating what they clearly need. But, you know,
I don't know.
yeah, so
Communication is a must in this life, in this world. People need to communicate. Like, without communication, you know, we can't get nowhere.
But anyways, so yeah, I came home shook all the way.
You okay?
I'm feeling better now today.
Okay.
So, but yeah, just that was it.
Are you going to the group tomorrow?
What group?
The youth.
Oh, the youth. Yeah, I might go for a little while. I don't want to go too much because I need some people to miss me.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
No, but like you don't want to overdo something. And I need some time with the adults. Like, honestly, like sometimes you just need some prayer. It's been an exhausting 2 weeks, and I'm gonna break down if I don't fill myself up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm drained. I'm exhausted. I saw Elizabeth
Oh,
at the mall there, and my stomach is just hurting. Like I thought I was gonna vomit because I'm just so wound up and anxious, and I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed at work that I'm just like, oh, my stomach is hurting so much. It's gonna take something. I didn't know. Excuse me. Do you mind?
Kitty,
Hello.
look.
He doesn't want to be on camera. He's camera shy.
He does want my attention. Yes, Kitty, I know. I don't forget you. You know that. Come on, Kitty.
I'm very stressed, and I'm very lonely. You know,
Why you do this? Talk to me about this. What is your secret in this life to be like this? I need to know. I talk to myself every day. How is this uncle to life like this?
like I haven't really had an actual love thing going on since 2014. So that'll be 7 years to 2020 coming up. But before that, like before I was dealing with that, just it was 2011. So you add 7 plus 7, that's 14 years.
No, sis, come on, mother. It's
So-
bother me that you're not out with somebody. It's bother me. Somebody, sis. Bother me, you know?
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Everybody wants.
Somebody to love.
You
So
better
you have to
find
find
somebody
somebody
to
to
love. Okay, bye.
See you next time.